Okay, so in a month where the stock market in general looks like it's pretty much in turmoil, we have inflation fears, we've got the US debt ceiling date just around the corner, and pretty much every single stock in my portfolio is getting battered on a daily basis. I have actually found one of my companies finally hit the green with some promising signs for the future, and that is going to be Coinbase. At the time of recording this video, Coinbase stock is actually up roughly 4% on the day and almost 10% for the week, which is very refreshing to see considering the rough start that this company actually had since its introduction into the New York Stock Exchange back in April of this year. And basically all I'm going to be doing on this video is touching on a couple of the things which I think is actually causing this stock to go one way, which is up, when 95% of the general market is going the opposite. The only thing I ask from you guys is, number one, if you haven't subscribed to this YouTube channel yet, and this is the type of content that you enjoy, then make sure you go and do that now down below. And the second thing is, if you haven't joined the Investors Lounge free Discord group, then make sure you go and check that out as well. So both of those links are going to be in the description down below, and let's get straight into the video. All right, so why is Coinbase going up when every other stock seems to be going down right now? And I'm going to just start off with the most obvious factor, and that is Bitcoin is currently on a little bit of a rampage right now. In the past week alone, it is actually up roughly $6,000, with most of those gains actually coming from today alone, where it's actually up around 10% for the past 24 hours. Now, with Bitcoin and of course other cryptocurrencies, when they surge upwards in sync, which they usually do, this is of course going to increase buying activity on Coinbase. From there, what that is actually going to do is then tempt more investors and institutions to then go ahead and purchase Coinbase stock, because they know that the more people that are spending money on Coinbase buying and selling cryptocurrencies, the more money Coinbase will earn in transaction fees, which will then all finally show for itself in the next earnings call. Now, as to why I think Bitcoin is rising, I think this all stems back to about a week ago, where the Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell said that there were no plans to ban cryptocurrencies in the United States, following the news that China has now actually banned it completely. Whether they're actually going to go through with that, who knows? They've said it about 20 times. But basically, Jerome Powell has come out and said US are not banning Bitcoin, which is obviously fantastic news for cryptocurrencies in general. Now, the unfortunate thing from a Coinbase stock point of view was that when this news actually dropped, it actually dropped at pretty much the same time and the same day actually that Coinbase reported that 6,000 of their customers were hacked and had crypto stolen from their wallets, which kind of almost stopped Coinbase's stock price joining that Bitcoin rally. However, after that news died down just a couple of days later at the start of this week, just like any kind of news article about a hack or anything like that, they always get forgotten about. We're now starting to see some nice gains with the company because we haven't had any bad news in the past week, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we're not going to see any in the near future as well. So that's what I think is the first reason and the most obvious one why Coinbase is going up, and that is because whenever Bitcoins or cryptos go up or pump in general, Coinbase normally sees a natural rise to its price as well. Now, the second reason that I want to talk about why I think the price has gone up, and that is simply because I think that this stock has just simply been oversold on some news that I don't think is that important. Now, if we just look back, like I mentioned at the start of this video, Coinbase hasn't exactly had the smoothest ride as a public company since its IPO date back in April, with the main cause for concern actually coming around a month ago when the SEC actually threatened to sue Coinbase if they were to continue launching their crypto lending service. Now, this of course caused a massive sell-off in the Coinbase stock. I think we saw it go from around $270 all the way down to $230 in the space of 2 weeks. But I really just think this is just simply an overreaction in the stock price, because at the end of the day, yes, the SEC did come out and publicly say that they are going to sue Coinbase if they were to go ahead with this, because they're doing things that are against the law in one way or another. Not really going to get into that too much. But the one thing that they didn't do was they didn't actually file an official kind of lawsuit or anything like that. They only threatened Coinbase, and it actually came out a couple of weeks back that Coinbase is now going to stop that lending service, which pretty much drops that entire case against them, and they're just going to focus on their core business, which is of course just the Coinbase platform, where 85% of their revenue still comes from. Now, one thing that I'm not saying is that will Coinbase will ever launch this lending service in the future? I personally think they will. I think they're just dropping it now just because there's a little bit of heat on them and all of that stuff. And I think they're just going to iron out exactly what they need to do from a legal point of view. And then maybe in a couple of months or maybe a year or two down the line, they'll end up launching that service. But just going back to the stock price, I think people overreacted to this news, and I think that actually caused the stock to crash more than what it should have done. And I just think it's a natural rebound right now that we've not had a little bit of bad news for a week, because it seems that there was a bit of bad news every single week about Coinbase. We're actually starting to see a nice little clear road ahead for the stock to actually do its thing. So that's the second reason as to why I think Coinbase has gone up this week. And like I said, I just think it's an overreaction to selling that stock from some of the bad news about a month ago. Now, the final thing that I actually want to touch on quickly is what is my actual plan with this stock going forward. And I'm actually going to say right now, I'm not actually planning on buying any more Coinbase stock to add to my portfolio in the near future. Yes, I'm happy that the stock's going up. This doesn't mean that I'm confident that it's going to go up for the next foreseeable future, because there is a really important date coming up within the US stock market, or something that affects the US stock market, and that is on the 18th of October. The USA actually have to sort out their debt ceiling issue, because basically the USA have used up all of their debt basically, and they haven't sorted it out yet, and by the 18th they need to come up with a solution. If not, they may default on their payments, which could then downgrade their credit score, which the last time that happened, I think the S&P 500 dropped like 7%. So we could be heading towards a big crash in terms of the market as a general, but no one knows exactly what's going to happen. Normally it's a last minute deal that they sort out every single year, but this time it seems like it's a little bit more serious. So one thing that I'm not doing is buying Coinbase stock within the next couple of weeks. I'm going to see what happens with this decision, see how this all plays out, pay close attention to the Fed over the next couple of weeks, and then I will make a decision on what stocks I'm going to be buying more of come the end of October. But other than that, all I want to say is congratulations to anyone who did buy the Coinbase dip when it was at $230 roughly. I think the lowest I bought it at was $240, I want to say. But yeah, these are my reasons as to why I think the stock is going up whilst every other stock seems to be going down right now. If you did enjoy this video, like I said, subscribe to the channel, as I'll be making lots more videos like this in the near future. Like the video, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Take care.